Many IELTS test takers find IELTS writing the most difficult and have to take the IELTS over and over again to get the IELTS writing score they need. IELTS writing is hard. Tasks 1 and 2 are very different and you only have a limited time to complete them. The problem is that most test takers don't understand how to actually improve their score, that there are a few points that really make a difference and that can get you from a lower band score to a band 7 or above. If you want to score high on IELTS writing, this video is for you. I'm going to tell you top tips and tricks to get a band 7 or above on IELTS writing. By the end of this video, you will understand how to write a high scoring answer, and it will be easy for you to put this into practice. If you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS course. In this course, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers, and we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link to my course in the description box. And now let's get started. Let's start with one of the most important tips. Don't repeat words. To get a high score, you must show that you have a broad range of vocabulary. You can't show that if you repeat the same words over and over again. Instead of using the same words several times, think about different ways to say the main ideas. Here's a tip for paraphrasing that many IELTS students don't think about. Usually, students think that they have to use different vocabulary all the time. It's true that you must use different vocabulary to score high. For example, instead of repeating a college professor, you can use a university teacher. But this is not the only way to paraphrase. You can also paraphrase by rearranging the order. That's a great trick because it shows a good command of language and you don't have to struggle to think of new words. For example, a college professor can become a professor at a college. Look at words that can change parts of speech too. An example is, the government is reviewing the concerning problem. This can become, the government is concerned about the problem. So the adjective concerning becomes the verb concerned. That's easy to do and really smart because you increase your score simply by rearranging the words in the sentence. Tip number 2 is to use lots of linking words. Guys, linking words are score boosters. You can increase your score considerably simply by using a few of them. That's a really easy way to do it. Every time I take the IELTS, I make sure that I insert a few linking words into my answers. But why should you do that? Linking words make your ideas flow together, so they show how your ideas relate to each other. This makes your answer more convincing. They also show that you have a great vocabulary, which is important for a high score. Let's have a look at an example. She likes books. She reads every evening. Those ideas make sense, right? But you can make this even better by adding a word that shows that one causes the other. She likes books, therefore she reads every evening. This way you show that she reads every evening because she likes books. So liking books is a cause for reading every evening. The cool thing is that you can change the meaning of the sentences simply by changing the linking words. She likes books. However, she only reads every evening. Now the sentence says something totally different. However, and only show that she doesn't get to read nearly as often as she likes. The linking words change the feel of the sentences. The takeaway is this, guys. First, you must use many linking words to score high. Second, pay attention to the different linking words you use, because the meaning of the sentence can be totally different. One of the easiest ways to get a high IELTS writing score is to use templates. When I take the IELTS, I always use templates for IELTS writing because they make it so much easier to write a high-scoring answer. The problem that many IELTS students have is that they are overwhelmed by all the types of questions that can come up in IELTS writing. In task 1, you can get a bar chart, a line graph, a map, and so on. There are so many different charts that can come up. It's the same in task 2. You can get an agree-disagree question, or you may have to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of something, or write about whether something is a positive or negative development. And there are many other question types. Each of these questions requires you to use a specific structure that fits the question. It's very hard to come up with the correct structure when taking your test. Templates solve this problem. They give you sentence starters that work for every topic in IELTS writing. This means that you don't have to think about how to start your sentences, so you can simply start writing, even if you have no idea what to write because you're nervous. This makes taking the IELTS less stressful and saves you a lot of time. Templates include a broad vocabulary, many linking words, and use the correct structure. So you go into IELTS writing and you already have all the sentence starters and structures in your head. So you don't have to think about that. You only have to insert the information for the topic you have to write about. You can find templates for every question type in my IELTS course. This means for all types of charts in task 1 and all question types in task 2. Just click on the link in the description. The next tip is very easy to do, but many IELTS students don't do it and lose points this way. This is such a pity because it's so easy to avoid losing points here. Guys, you must answer the question completely. This means that you must address all the parts of the question. Therefore, read the questions really carefully. In the IELTS Academic, Task 1 questions ask you to summarize information from a graph. Well, that means you report what you see. Don't add your own ideas about why certain trends may be true. This is not given in the graph, so you must not write about this. In task 2, you are given a statement and asked specific questions about it. The prompt may ask you to explain the pros and cons of a situation or discuss which viewpoint you prefer. It's easy to go off topic on this kind of question. For example, you might write a great essay about the pros of the situation and don't mention the cons. Task 2 also asks for specific examples. If you don't include examples, you will get a lower score. Therefore, make sure you carefully read the question and answer all parts of the question. Don't write less and don't add more than you are asked for. If this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button. Also, comment down below what questions you have about the IELTS so I know what you're interested in. Now, let's have a look at more strategies that improve your IELTS writing score immediately. The next point is also easy to do. Use proper essay structure. Guys, this is essential for a high score. The IELTS examiner must be able to follow your ideas. They can't do that if your essay is all over the place. You must make your answer easy to understand. You need an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Your paragraphs need topic sentences. These are sentences that tell the examiner what this paragraph is about. The easiest way to have a great structure is using a template, because this way you already have the structure in your head when taking the IELTS. The other important part of this tip is to pay attention to punctuation. Some students write quickly and forget to use periods and capitalization to show where sentences start and stop. Use other punctuation correctly too. If you aren't comfortable using dashes or semicolons, then don't use them. Commas are enough. The rule is you must be sure that you use punctuation correctly. If you are unsure, write in a different way. Now, let's check out a point that many IELTS students misunderstand. Many students think that they must use complex sentences all the time. That's wrong. Of course, it's important to show off your grammar skills by using complex sentences. However, don't make every sentence as long and complex as you can. If you do, it will be hard to follow your argument. It's better to have a mix of simple and complex sentences. For example, you might make the topic sentence short so the reader understands your point. After that, you can give a longer sentence as an example. The variation in sentences helps make sure your grammar is good too. If you try too hard to make long sentences, there may be errors. It's better to use simple sentences that are correct than using complex sentences that are wrong. The next tip is avoid slang. Guys, remember, you're writing an academic essay. Use polite speech. It doesn't have to be the highest level of formality, but it needs to be clear and professional. That means you should avoid slang words. Whatever you do, don't include words like wanna instead of want to. Don't use casual phrases that are used in conversation but not in writing. For example, if you're tired, you might say you were dead on your feet. However, that's not a polite phrase for an essay. Try exhausted or fatigued. Plus, there is nothing wrong with just saying tired because it's clear and the reader knows exactly what you mean. The other thing to avoid is contractions. You may say don't, but in writing, spell out the whole thing. Do not. These are little details which make a huge difference in the overall impression of your answer. Also, while you are taking your IELTS writing test, you have to keep your eye on the clock. You only have an hour for the entire section, and lots of people get too busy with task 1 that they don't have time to finish task 2. You will lose a lot of points that way. I know what I'm talking about. I know it's hard. I always want to spend more time on task 1 because I feel that I can improve my answer. But then I tell myself that I need this time for task 2 and that I'm going to lose lots of points if I don't have enough time in the end. One way to stay on track is to keep your writing simple and short. If you ramble on with too many words, it's harder to complete the tasks in the time limit. Plan on only about 200 words for task 1 and about 300 for task 2. That's more than the required amount, but not by many, so that's fine. Use about 20 minutes for task 1 and about 40 for task 2. Finally, it's crucial to proofread your writing when you're done. Mistakes happen, especially when you're nervous. When you proofread, look for obvious spelling and grammar errors. Changing them will boost your score. Plus, make sure that you are answering the question rather than going off topic. Do this by asking yourself some questions. Do your linking words make sense? Do the examples fit the topic? You can also see if some words are repeated many times. Replace them with paraphrasing to show off your vocabulary. It doesn't take long to reread your writing, and the results are definitely worth it. That's it. That's the ultimate guide to score a band 7 or higher on IELTS writing. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video.